Small rice cake pregame, and let's get started with the chapter. Hey guys, welcome back to my chapter review of chapter 1042 of One Piece called "The Victor Needs No Epithet." Or I read the translation first, so I'm gonna take a little piece of that in one of the few panels. But it really just drives home that title in this freaking chapter, and when Kaido says it, well, spoilers, right? Because I hope you've read the chapter. Um, so the cover request, we have Pudding, aftermath of Pudding punching Sanji's brothers. Ovens there kind of looking like, why did you punch them? Why were you so mad? Why'd you do that? And it looks like she has an Al Capone. Like, it looks like Al Capone on her shoulder, so maybe that transferred something, or something went there so they can try to get out. Maybe Pudding's in on trying to rescue the siblings, or maybe she's trying to do it on her own, and it just lines up perfectly with Judge coming into the island to invade, or well, not invade, rescue his sons. And immediately we go to what Drake did right after he saw CP0 leader. He blitzes the man while he was distracted, I would assume, right? He blitzes the man and stabs him in the back. He kind of just says, "What? Why did you do this?" And it's like saying, What Drake says, "My justice made me do this." But it's so surprising that this CP0 blitzes away and blitzes back and just knocks Drake out. So Drake done. Like, I would imagine done. He didn't get up after that. And so we get the confirmation that the CP0 members on the first floor, like, what was it? Basement floor, right? First basement level. So he's on the bottom. Somehow this man later on gets to the rooftop, but we'll get to that part, right? We go to the flower capital where all the villagers are kind of just lighting up the what's it called? What do they call them? The lamps, the floating lamps, sending them to the sky. So maybe when they look up, they can finally see something, see the island, right? Because they're gonna see them drift away in the sky. We finally cut to what we've been waiting for since, like, we only got glimpses of, right? We get Kaido versus Luffy, and I don't think anybody thought this would be the final fight. I don't think anybody thought that final fight, that final clash was going to be the final fight. So nobody thinks this is gone. This is going to be finished, this chapter. There's no way they give Kaido versus Luffy one chapter. So we just see that his, like, what was it? Hydra is actually doing damage, and he is not letting up. He's going and going, constantly hitting Kaido, and he says, after a few, like, that hurts. Oh, that, like, he's getting hurt. He just gets frustrated at one of those. And then this man throws me off because the spoiler translation said it differently. And all I imagine him saying in this panel when he says, "Just stop," and like that annoying voice, "Just stop." But in the translation, it said flirtatious, flirty drunk stage mode. And here he says drunken, like the translation said drunken beggar. I'm not sure. Like, it doesn't correlate with how he's trying to frame, or maybe like the translation has just like given me that image of flirtatious Kaido versus drunken beggar. I don't know how that correlates with the way he said "just stop" in here, but that's not the point, right? Like, it's fun. That little translation was really funny, and Luffy's just kind of frustrated. Why you're still drunk? Don't make this like an excuse when I defeat you. Like, that's what I think back when he said it before. The next panels, Kaido actually confirms, like, you think you're the only one that can use future sight, and it kind of says or initiates that Kaido just put on his observation haki that allows him to see into the future. So it was kind of interesting that he hasn't put that into play until now. But remember that he's so strong, he's so durable that he doesn't need future sight to tank hits. He's basically indestructible almost, right? So finally, when attacks start coming in and like pain starts occurring, he turns on Conqueror's haki, because he can not Conqueror's haki, future sight, because of the fact that it'll drain his stamina, kind of how Luffy mentioned. The more things you add on, the more. I can't imagine how much haki Luffy's using, because I'm sure he has every little box ticked on for armament. Future Sight conquers. But then he starts transforming, and he says, "Oh, I'll take a, I'll take a, a card out of your book." Card out of your book? What did he say? I was trying to say something, but he says, "I'm gonna copy you," and he turns into Snake Man. But to dodge, he kind of just like, I can't imagine it, because he's so huge as a dragon, right? And he just kind of dodges some of the attacks and snatches up Luffy and ends up eating him. Like, again, I swear, I think I've seen this already, right? In Roof Piece, he got 8, right? So he gets dragged up all the way into the sky, and Kaido makes it perfectly so Luffy can't dodge. He spits him out and charges his flame breath, his blast breath at the same time, sending him through the whole Onigashima Island and shoots him off away from the bottom. I'm glad that we get this transition where Luffy immediately jumps out of Snake Man and transitions into Bound Man, goes into his flying mode, and jets right back up to Kaido relentlessly. And he brings out a new move, just trying to justify, just seeing Luffy's conviction that if Kaido gets to win this, I have to win this, because if he wins, these people have no food. They don't even have clean water to drink. And he brings out a new move called at least in the translation, right? Over Kong Gun. So I guess he just maximizes his Kong Gun as much as possible at the moment. And he just slams it into Kaido before he gets out the blast breath. But before that, I wanted to mention his speech bubbles. And like, it's so ironic that he mentions it like this, right? That the victor needs no epithet. And in the spoiler translation, it said the victor needs no reasoning. There's no, you don't need, it doesn't matter how the victor won. That's kind of like what he's saying here. And after he gets smacked into the ground in the big dust cloud, and just Luffy just no thought in his mind, just charging just to keep pummeling him down to defeat him. Kaido throws a Thunder Bellow Bagua at him. And it's just the image, right? Like, it catches Luffy off guard, like in the first fight they had. It just throws him off, and it lands a clean hit. And it gets an exact image of the first. But he actually holds it in. He gets to power through the move. Pure willpower through the move. Gets freaking hit directly on the head, but he's still going. He didn't actually knock out. And this image of Kaido, the bloodthirsty drunk, it gave me like a cynical look on his face, which was different than the other times, right? Luffy's still charging at him. He needs to defeat him, he says. Before, like, he's like, it's just the durability of this fight is, for Luffy, is just immense from what we've seen before. He's tanked the initial hit, just brute force hit that knocked him out on the first fight. And he's going for the last attack. He's going to throw out another Kong gun, his maximum Kong gun to Kaido. I don't think anybody thought this was going to be like, whichever, like a Katakuri versus Luffy, they both hit each other, see who stands up type of thing is the victor. I don't think this was going to defeat Kaido. I don't think anybody thinks this was going to defeat Kaido, because Kaido is looking fresh still. Kaido is looking clean. And we see CP0 members show up. And it's like, wait, weren't you in the first floor? He blitzed all the way to the top. And the imagery here is just, I have to give it to Oda, that the imagery here was just beautiful, Oda. Freaking beautiful. So Kaido he sees CP0, he says CP0, but like, while you're in the motion, while you're doing it, you can't stop. Like, I see why people would say, he saw the CP0 member, why didn't he stop? He was driven to do it. He was already in the motion to do this, and he's already like bringing it down, and he says CP0, and this panel gives me the feels on Kaido, because it happened twice. He remembers Odin got distracted by his like quote unquote son, and Luffy gets distracted and looks away. Actually, CP0 holds back his arm, from what I see, right? Like CP0 is right behind him, holding him back, and Luffy can't release. And just the imagery is beautiful. Looking at like the way Oda drew Luffy is in a way that we don't really see Luffy. The imagery, Kaido's face, the next last panels with the look on his eyes, the devastation is just freaking incredible. Like you don't need any words to mention like the thoughts that are going through his mind. And I don't know if Luffy's defeated here, right? I don't think anybody wants to think he's defeated. A lot of people went to Morge like the raid's over, it failed, right? Because there's no way anybody else is taking on Kaido. But it's just that panel with his eye is just hope. He doesn't want it to happen again. He can't believe it happened again. But that's the end of the chapter, right? Some thoughts is, well, Luffy, would he get back up from this, right? Like, is he defeated from this? It's immensely hard to tell because he took a Thunder Bagua and he was done, right? Like, that's it. He was gone. He was almost gone. Taking this hit straight onto his body, no brace. Ooh, I don't know if Luffy's the one that'll get up from that. You know, right? Right? Like Odin couldn't get up from this. So would Luffy be able to? I forgot to mention, I think that we do get a moment where Kaido's getting hit from all sides from Luffy's Hydra, and he mentions, you know, Rubber, he's redirecting his attacks. Rubber shouldn't be able to act this way. And I was thinking about it, but really nothing comes to mind. I haven't put that much like thought what would his devil fruit be then? Because don't devil fruit users immediately gain the knowledge of what their devil fruit does when they eat it? Like where Blackbeard, all these other people that gain the knowledge. If not, you kind of are, you would eat it and you're kind of just lost like what your devil fruit can do. Like if somebody doesn't know, they have the jacket fruit. Like you turn into a jacket, but then you don't know what it does. So it's weird that Luffy wouldn't know what it is, but it's gotta be rubber, right? Maybe it's a faction of rubber. Anyways, I don't want to throw ideas without, you know, proper research or thought into it. For next chapter though, there's no break, which is amazing, right? Is Luffy gonna get up from that hit? Is Luffy that person that can get up from it? Is somebody else gonna come in? What's he gonna do to the CP0 member? He won again, but with help. And I don't know what that's gonna do to him. If that's gonna drive him mad, or if he's gonna actually let Luffy get up again and not do anything because it was an interruption. But that's the end of the chapter. I want to predict that we. I hope we don't go anywhere else. I want to know what the heck happens next. Please, Oda, don't leave me hanging on this one. But that's it for me, guys. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.